Hi, kindergartners. All right, so today, press pause and write in our Stretchy the Snake words. Today, all of our words are going to end in x, x, x. So put M and I, W-A, and F and I, and then we're going to stretch them out together. So make sure you press pause now so you can write them down before we stretch them out. Okay, first one. X. Mix. Like I mix something up. All right, let's see what the next one is. Axe. Wax. Wax. Like a candle wax. All right, next one. Fix. 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 Ooh, those were tricky. Okay, now I wrote a sentence and I did a question. I did a sentence with an end mark of a period because I'm going to tell you something. And then I also made a sentence with a question mark because I'm going to ask you a question. Word space, end mark. Starts with an uppercase letter. Don't forget that when you're writing your sentences. I can fix. Look, I use one of my Stretchy the Snake words. You can do that. That's an amazing thing to practice. I can fix the big mess. Mess. I can fix the big mess. That was my telling sentence. That's why I have an end mark. And now I have a question sentence. I started with my star word do. Do you like to sing? And I have a question mark. So you can do that too. You can use the words up above to write them using sentences. Okay, kindergartners. Once you do your letter sounds, your numbers, we do not have a new letter to do for handwriting today, but we are going to practice some of the letters that we've learned. So you can either go get your handwriting board, remember with the big lines on one side and the small lines on this side, or you can erase your morning job board and use the lines here. But I'm going to use my paper here. So we've learned a lot of letters this year. We've learned O, we've learned S, A, P, T, N, M, C, D, and we don't have it here, but we also learned I. So we have two vowels that we've learned. Today, I want you to practice your handwriting for uppercase and lowercase for any of the letters we learned. And I'm going to practice some that are still tricky for me. One that I see is still tricky for you, boys and girls, when I look at your writing is S. Sometimes your S, especially your lowercase s, is in the sky when it shouldn't be. So I'm going to try and practice that. Remember, I'm going to curve. If I do uppercase, the uppercase is a little easier. I'm going to curve starting at the sky, curve around to the plane line, and then curve back around to the grass line. That's tricky. Start at the skyline, curve around to the plane line, and back to the grass line. Curve around, and then back when we hit the plane line. Now, lowercase s is even trickier. It cannot fly up here. And sometimes you guys do that. So I'm going to practice making sure it's not flying up there. So it's just the same strokes to make sure it's not floating. Make sure my curved lines are working. Okay, so I practice S. You know what's also can be a little tricky for me is my D. We just learned how to do uppercase D and lowercase d last week, and that one's still tricky for me. Uppercase D, I can do the belly pretty good. Skyline, grass line, pick up, and then curve around and make sure it touches. I'm good with that one. But lowercase d is what's tricking me. I gotta do my best O and then a straight line down. My best O and straight line down. Best O and straight line down. All right, kindergartners, I want you to practice some letters that are still tricky for you. Maybe it's your M and your N, if maybe the hops on the lowercase letters are still tricky, or maybe doing that A. I know some of us still do our A's and then we have a tail out, or maybe we put it like this. We don't want our A's like that. Remember, A is an O and then straight tail back down. Or I know we've also done it as an O and then tail straight down. Your tail has to come straight down. It can't go out, okay? So I want you to practice doing as many lowercase and uppercase letters as you can for all the letters that we've learned. And then don't forget your reading.